Scott Bailey. He doesn't have a dominating lead. He has to stay on top of it. But it looks like Allen is right in his dust. I'm going to say about 30 seconds back.
Okay, I've got some big news here. I'm looking at the trackers right now, and I can see, if you look on your trackers, you'll see that there's a little orange circle, and if you see a red cloud here in Hammers.
The thing is, though, they're at the bottom of Turkey Claw, and there's about 4 miles of nasty cross grain.
Yes.
And if you've got a flat tyre, you've got to lift that car through that cross grain, off all those little drop-offs. You've got to be very careful not to shatter a wheel, because then you might not make it that 4 miles.
Right, because then you tear up your brakes, you have trouble. Also, if it gets too loose, that tire starts to come apart, could get woven up, rip your brake line apart. So it's a big decision right now. Do we go slow, get to the pit, or do we get out and change it?
And this section between Turkey Claw and Hammertown is one of the roughest high-speed areas on the course. I remember several years ago I was racing Randy Slaughton here, and I actually passed him in this cross grain. But straight away I got 2 left flat tyres, and he got me back in the pits because I had to stop and change them. So the guys have to be. As we wait for our leaders to come into the pits, I think we were mentioning the modified guys before, Ricky. They really should be right up there in this race. They are an unlimited shock package car. But the legends seem to be dominating so far through the desert section, which, you know, puts it a bit out of sync.
Okay, we're looking at our physical third place car right now. This is Jeremy Jones working his way down through Turkey Claw. Jeremy started on the 3rd row of the grid this morning in 6th position, so he's playing us in place right now. Well, let's not forget, we saw Brent Harrell battling him in the desert. But where is Brent?
Welcome to the Everman Challenge. Take it away, brother.
And looking here, this is Brent Harrell coming through, and he has got a right front flat as he picks his way down through.
Oh my God. Brent Harrell.
Thank you very much, Ricky. It is great to be here in the booth with Jim Marston and Ben Baker. I have to command to keep the accents on this side of the country. So catch me up here, guys. We're watching the 405 Everman Challenge. I've been watching the live stream over in the VIP tent. Where are we at? What's going on?
We've had an epic day of action so far.
The stock guys are going to be near the back. That's just how that works. But what are we seeing out here on the race course so far?
We're definitely seeing the Legends cars dominate lap 1. I think the first 9 or 10 are all Legends cars. And the start order was mixed. We mixed them in based on their qualifying order. And Dwayne Garrettson is...
Yeah, I think Dwayne Garrettson actually could well be up into that top 5 already. We're just watching that now. Normally going for a helicopter shot, and it looked like something changing a spare wheel tyre. I was just feeling that was down. I was just looking at the race booth and the shape of the vehicle. It looked like a bomber. It looked like a very fast race.
I think you're absolutely right there. That is, actually, I think you're right, Jim. I think that was a Dan out fixing a flat out in the middle of the desert. They got that tire on, so I'm going to boys and let them get out. Looks like, yes, Brent Harrell is off and going. And that was a pretty clean run by the entire team. Great. Oh, we got another one coming in. All right, I got Cody Young coming in. Looks like all 4 tires are looking good on this one. Another Miller Motorsports chassis. Looks like they're... So lots of action. Brent Harrell is out on course. And Cody Young in this car, I don't see hardly anything going on. But yeah, this car looks like it's doing a great job. They're getting a good fuel. Big thumbs up. They're saying steer left, right. Everything's going smooth. So doing a quick fuel. I don't see anything else wrong with this car. So far, everybody's just saving their car pretty good in that first desert lap. So lots of action. So Michael Kelly down here, the number 707 in Jimmy's car. So we've had all sorts of manufacturers out here. And Cody Young with a quick fuel and go. The rest of them looks good. And they are sending him back out. So Michael Kelly in here, they actually shut the engine off. Not quite sure why they did that. They're crawling into the back of the car, making sure everything's getting fueled up all right. So lots of action down here. Looks looks like they're inspecting the rear a little bit. Oh, look at the rear end. The rear end is puking pretty good. So that's going to be tough to overcome. They're going in the rocks.
I think that's a Bronco.
Yeah, I was about to say that looks like.
Cody Miller Pro Chassis. Cody Young currently sitting in 5th position on adjusted time. And looking really good. Now, normally, the leading Pro Chassis in 4800 would normally be Casey Gilbert on normal years, but he's removed the sandbags, as he likes to say, before we will see him on the racecourse tomorrow.
Yeah, a number of people have made that jump from 4800 to 4400. As we're watching it,
This is big news.
yeah,
This is Dan Fresh. As we watch Dan Fresh on last year's win. Miles, what do you got for us?
So 2 quick gas and goes. We have Chad Jesse. Now we have Nick Allegri in screen. They're mainly just doing a check and go. And now the last second go, and really smooth, really fast. Like I said, the professionalism has stepped up so much in the pits out here. Everybody's playing by the rules. Remember, Nick Allegri, looks like they're both in and out. And they're excited, heading out for a second. Dan Fresh is out. But yeah, quick and go. Lots of action down here. And back up to the booth.
thank you very much, Miles. Oh, look at this. Someone just handed me a coffee crisp, one of the greatest Canadian chocolate. All right, so thank you very much, Miles, for the big news that Jim was saying before. We're proceeding with Dan Fresh coming back here, and we've been speculating what is wrong with that. But it looks like he has a right front flap.
Loving this wind direction.
All right, so we're now Dan Fresh working his way through Hammertown with that right front flat. I can only speculate that the one on the rack in the back must be flat as well to drive that far.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier. I said to you, I think he's had 2 flats. Cars, 4400s, 48s, 45s, and 46s do not have 2 cars. Miles, what do you got?
So I'm down here with Dan Fresh.
I'm feeling great. Car feels good. Just had a few flats out there, but we'll get.
All right, yeah, well, thank you, Dan Fresh. Looks like he wants a little drink. He's got a flat tire on the back, a flat tire on the right front. He's doing his best, but man, this guy knows what it takes to make this happen. So it's so far so good. Again, this bomber chassis looks like it's in great shape. This is a purpose-built 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class car. He still has a great shot at this thing. And like I said, he's a professional out there on course. But again, outside of a couple flat of quick fuel and go, he's in great spirits. He's out here having fun.
See Smiley's message?
Getting a quick drink.
Apparently full of love.
And just getting himself, like I said, a lot of these drivers are really calm and collected right now. I kind of see both sides, and that's how I gauge if I can go and talk to them. I give them a thumbs up, if I get it, and a smile. I hold up the wrench, they give me a nod. I go in and have a quick chat with them, and it's just really great to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Late mark, and they're still able to just kind of keep it all together and keep it rolling. So I see Tony Howard coming into town.
Well, he's not quite.
Michael Kelly's still down there. Is still down there. Michael kept there. He had a great run going, but he's got a team that can make it happen. So still putting some of that fuel in for Dan Fresh. So what a great run by all of these competitors to the 4-wheel parts Everyman Challenge, and that's what it means. Every man or woman can come out here. Have come out here at 2023 Progressive Insurance King of the Hammers, powered by Optima Batteries. I'm going to ship it back up to Ian, Ricky, Jim. Take it away.
Thank you, Miles. Thank you, Miles. Now, let's talk about this. Dan Fresh, who's last year's winner, is in that bomber chassis. Is there a way for him to get back into this race?
I think there's a way for him to get back into it in the rocks. We always say this. This race, the always talk about where's King of the Hammers, won or lost, won the desert, won the rocks. I think when you talk about the Everyman Challenge, he can get behind them.
time.
With a broken car in the middle of the road, so they're all just rolling straight over it. If you're broken, you can't move, you become part of the course. Ground level or through the bar. That's the only way you can make it all the car around. It's 3 foot side, people that have Unity on Legends or modified car for me, it's in the left 3 flips over that hill. I think we're getting pretty close to Corn Kitten Jr. running up the front of that class. We should be seeing some of them coming into our shots soon.
That was Rick Levezzo, we just called that a minute ago. This is one of the
That is top. No, that's how Foley has to do it. So that is one of the cars the rocks now. That is one of the great leaders. But I don't see a car whether it's in front of him or behind him. The hard part of these rock trails, you can always tell in the desert because there'll be a dust trail if there is a car in front of it, but in the rocks you can't really see that.
Yeah, this race up front is really busy. Scott Foad, big push Brent Harrell. Brent Harrell is leading on adjusted time as he came through Hammertown.
Oh, there we go. So now we can see just it's Dan Fresh, I believe, overtaking on the short course. He's got some ground to make up.
Yeah, exactly.
But Ben, you know better than anybody else. You've been behind the wheel of one of these cars. If you're headed into the rocks and you're behind the wheel of a bomber car, you kind of got the DAC stacked in your favor, in my opinion.
That is, we saw him stationary in remote pit 1 earlier today, but the car looks very, very tall at the back, and they were working at the back end of the vehicle, so it'll be interesting to see what's going on. As we can see a winch recovery taking place, and plenty of cars still making their way through Turkey Claw.
And that is Jeremy Jones in Spooners, and we are
Just to see where vehicles are. I'm not showing any stationary. I am showing Scott Foley as our lead vehicle currently, being chased by Jeremy Jones. Then behind him is I'm showing Cody Young, and just off course.
And
that
look
could
at
just be a track up there.
Jeremy Jones is just reeling him in the rocks right now. He's just pushing up behind him. And this is one of those times where, you know, communication. Does he know, like, I'm sure he knows he has him on adjusted time. Does he try to pass him, or does he just stick behind him?
Okay, I've got some news. It looks like the 595 of Craig Allen is actually stopped on course currently, just outside of Hammertown, or he's still in Hammertown potentially. Just looking at it. No, I think he's just outside of Hammertown. It's near jump.
All right, I think we're going to see a pass right now going on in Spooners right now as we watch Jeremy Jones possibly make his way around Scott Foley, and that puts a lot of pressure on Foley because if he's in front of him, he's got him.
Trent Fab chassis overtaking a Bomber Fab chassis. Fab chassis earns the favour.
Tried, but he closed the door on him, and Scott's not going to give this up. He's keeping a close eye on things.
Yeah, and if you see him walking around, you'll see he actually has his tape measure clipped to his belt, ready for action.
Current race leaders make their way through Spooners. That is Scott Foley and Jeremy Jones right behind him. Any new sitting still car of the 595? Craig Allen.
595 is still stationary, but I can tell you that Dan Fresh is now making his way out and is going up right now. I'll just look on the tracker and I'll try and give you our top 5 or 6 vehicles. It does look like Brent Harrell is showing off course at the moment, but I will update. It's showing him as moving, so I think that could be a tracker glitch.
Sometimes there, Jim, when they're deep in the canyons, the GPS just gets a little bit confused. Our trackers work in a bit of a double way. Both they transmit back to us, but they also log a GPS that we can download afterwards to make sure the course was accurate. So everything is covered there. And as we watch, we see even more cars making their way back into Hammertown right now.
what's going on up in Spoons. Whoa, I think we saw, for a second it looked like, right before that camera moved, it looked like we saw Scott pulling over, letting Jeremy Jones fall. It looks like here's that broken car that you were talking about earlier, Ben. Looks like it's trying to cover the car we were talking about before, Ben. There's bomber number 1.
There we go. Anthony Areola coming into shot.
Him earlier, it looked like we saw this vehicle. Obviously, it's rolled. You know, as you said, they got the light bar broken off. Literally drove the wheels or the tires off.
Told the bolts could have just fallen out of it. But this is Rick Lavezzo right now, picking his way into town. Rick is on double duties this week. He's got running here in the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle modified class, and then tomorrow he'll be taking out a Penal Fab IFS car for the 4400 class.
He was coming back down.
Double duty. They use this as a pre-run, come out, shake down the course, get a feel for it, and then they go in, jump in that 4400 car. The question is, do you really want to get back in a race car after being in this race? Is it really worth it yourself to do 2 days back to back?
You know what, Ian? I did that 2 years, and it was the best thing I ever did for my racing program. Getting in that car twice, running that course at speed. Yes, you can rerun. Yes, you can see the course. Yes, you can make notes. But driving it at race pace is the best thing you do. But the two cars are very different. From a solid axle bomber or a Legends car to a big IFS race car, you drive this race car fighting the rocks, and you drive a very different aggression in the desert. So you need to make sure, but it is
Leader in the Yukon Gear and Axle 4500 modified class.
He made up a lot of time then, because that may be the 3rd car into Spooners.
Ian, I'm showing about 8 cars in Spooners. It's quite a long trail. Yeah. So there's going to be a fair bit of traffic up there, which is really awesome. We've got a really tight race on our hands here.
Yeah, this is remarkable for the race to be so tight on this stage with so many different cars with so many different manufacturers. We're right at the point at the end. Fantastic stuff.
And remember, we've got 3 classes running today. We have the the Curry Axle stock class, 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle modified class, and the 4800 Brandon Motorsports Legends class.
Okay, while we continue with the action here in Spooners, we're going to pass out to Matt Holt. He's in remote pit 1. Matt, what do you got for us?
We're still cruising. Having a good time. This is race mile 1. We appreciate that. Again, let's get back to it. All right, thank you.
Okay, and thank you very much, Matt. Welcome back to the 2023 President Everyman Challenge.
Now we go 50-50 on
An absolute amazing between the Legends class, Desert Moon, cars in and back into town. I watched a couple of the modified cars come back to Hammertown. Still waiting on a stock car car. Make it back to finish that first loop.
Ben, how many stock car cars get back into town?
Jim, I'm watching them come across the desert, heading towards the Hammers and I think we might be 15 stock car rigs. Hold with that extra 5 minutes at the start, 2 minutes of clean air, trying to keep them a little bit separated from some of the traffic, and it's going to be a great race with those.
And this year they're launching a King of the Hammers edition Bronco, inspired by Dave Cole and Jason Shearer.
I was about to say that. You can walk over and check out the King of the Hammers edition Bronco here in Hammertown at the Ford booth. It has definitely got the best of the best in the aftermarket parts on it.
And that's Nick Allegri there making his way into Spooners.
And speaking of Broncos, guys, Miles is in the Bronco pit. Brad Lovell's coming in. Take it away, Miles.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, Brad Lovell in the Ford Bronco down here, basically doing a fuel. Looks like they're checking out a tire. They were ready to change it, but I don't see any issues down here. This hand-oil machine looks like it's in great shape. Everything's going good. Got a big Roger Lovell. And we know Bailey Kornbaum getting right behind him, so they'll be in here She's going to hop out of the car, and Lauren Healy's going to hop into the rock. So lots of strategy. The car looks like it's an absolute great shape. There's 74 well portals up front, holds up strong. It's going to give a huge advantage in the rocks here in just a little bit. And I've got Kurt Steele, he's from the Bronco team, just kind of checking everything out. How's it going, Kurt?
It's going great. We're proud of the first one anywhere. They're running tight, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, it's just the beginning. It's going to be a long day, but great to see all the competitors out here. It's just the largest off-road race in the world.
Yeah, and it's great to see. I mean, we get lucky enough to do a lot of. Always fun to see where we bump into each other, and you know, at Crandon, down in Baja here.
Ryan Lovell came in with a 1 hour 43.38. Nearly as fast as a 4,500 price.
5% car on that point. I think you can go well. All right, well, as we take a quick break from the alley, just remember that if you want to become a premium member, you will here from the live stream. It's kingofthehammers.com/live.
Number 23, it's 2023. This championship's yours. Let's show these guys what's up. Big dog still gotta eat. Whatever you say, big dog. Seriously? These fools think I'm fried? They know the deal.
25 years of off-road racing dominance.
Oh, yeah.
Proprietary
He's going to run into Hammertown?
Proudly made in the USA. Unparalleled customer service and support. King Shocks, the leader of off-road shock technology.
So it's decided. We'll park even deeper into the parking space.
Can't hear you, Jerry. All right. Yeah, can we get a...
Yeah.
I'll bust the line up the way down.
Motorcycle insurer and maybe save some money while you're at it.
All in favor of that? There's a lot of buttons and knobs in here.
Down, you're talking.
The legend, the voice of Ultra 4, Miles Housewith. Miles, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Ian. Yeah, Bailey Cole's in here in second in the Curry only a fuel and go, nothing else. Now I'm going to run over here to Von Gittin. Von Gittin is getting out of the Bronco, throwing in his teammate, Lauren Healy. Looks like they did have to re-rack a spare tire. They re-racked the spare tire, so they must have had a little bit of issue on course, but other than that, everything looks good. So Von Gittin brings Lauren Healy a very clean Bronco. Looks like they may have clipped the door handle a little bit. But this whole Bronco looks like it's in great shape. Ditto tires still hold there. This is the energy machine. It's looking like it's doing its job right now. And look at the team. But what a great race. Brad Lovell looks like he's about second. And Von Gittin and Lauren Healy, Team Funhaver out there. Close behind in third. Here, the Broncos in the Curry Enterprise stock class. And that's exactly why we call it the Everyman Challenge. So I've got Von Gittin Jr. that just hopped out of this Bronco. And it looks like you may have one flat tire out on course.
Yeah, I think we caught a slow leak out there. We got caught behind so I think we just caught a slow leak. Once we got in the desert, we were ripping and just let go. So I think we're on the liner and yeah, we got out, we changed it real quick. And we're not in a bad spot at all for rolling the ground and do what he does.
Yeah, I mean, you brought him a clean truck. All three Broncos look like they're in great shape. And it's 1, 2, 3 once again, the Curry stock class.
This is a great option for a stock class car, being a full-size Jeep Cherokee. Just to remind you at home, anyone who's in that stock class, they have so many rules they have to keep in place. So this being a V8 powered 4-lane front and rear vehicle, very good platform to build from.
Yeah, that's the McNamara brothers. They're the 4696. Ridgecrest, California. Been racing with us for a long time now. As we cut back to this vehicle, just look at this. See the spare tire just about.
That has definitely, I think, been replaced.
Indeed. Always worries me when you see them bouncing around and just waiting.
Now, Jim, we were talking this morning with Ricky about how this race is full of a lot of guys who are racing with their mates. They might just do it for a bit of fun.
I think, at least for a while there was 1 or 2 cars.
Position, battling that whole first lap. Unfortunately, Craig, he's still sitting at the top of Baldwin Hill. He's got some issues. We were actually high school friends. They both live in Norco, California. Craig was our 2-time champion in this club. With rock crawling, Pro Mod division, and together on. So really cool to see. Great mates, land us together, race together. About this Legends class and all of us Everyman Challenge.
Yeah, I want to go back to some news that we were giving her. But you never really know with these trails, so we'll keep an eye on this story.
It's Brad Lovell into Spooners. As we said, that's the introduction to the rock trails here. So that's the first section we're going to hit. So he's at a blistering pace in that stock field. So he's mixed in with all those Legends cars.
Brad's making this vehicle look easy up Spooners. It's tough out there, there's big rocks. He's only on 35, so the stock cars are on a smaller tyre than anyone else racing today. So they're even further disadvantaged. Brad is making that look smooth and easy.
Yeah, definitely the Lovell's no stranger to the rocks. Old school rock crawlers from back in the day made the transition into King of the Hammers Racing, then into short course, then into Ultra 4. It's just kind of like the family that races together stays together. That looks like a little Toyota 4Runner possibly.
Certainly one of our 4600 class vehicles as we watch the lead 4600 class vehicle in the Curry Enterprises stock class. This is Brad Lovell making his way through Spooners. And I hate to say it, Ben, he's making it look easy.
He is making it look very easy.
Don't put that juju on it. Don't put that bad luck on it.
The announcer's curse.
Yeah.
So clean when they left the start line. Not sure they're going to look get to the finish line, we've got a lot of rocks ahead of us, a lot more technical driving for these guys, but it's cool to see how well he's moving.
But as you said, Ben, 3 absolutely phenomenal drivers behind the wheels of each one of these cars.
Absolutely. A little bit disadvantaged, a little bit harder to drive, but I actually really like the IFS and the rocks, and if you know how to drive it well, which all these guys do, you can really make it work for you. They've got the additional advantage of those 74-well portals. Bit of extra front diff clearance, bit of extra height there, nice stance on the vehicle. It's looking really good in the rocks there.
I think the more important news with that front portals on that Bronco is it just takes the load off those CV shocks. So CVs allows them to live a lot longer.
Absolutely, and we do a lot of portal axle conversions back at my shop in Australia. The Land Cruisers and a few other vehicles. It's really cool what they do with the drivetrain. To see them out racing here with these 74-well portals, it's really cool.
And still plenty of actions in the KMC Turkey Claw as these vehicles look to come down Turkey Claw and make their way back to Hammertown to complete lap 1.
I can tell that might be another one of those.
It is. Actually, so he's just trying to get a number on that one right now.
You can see that driver is crowding everybody through, helmets off, ready to assume that their name is down.
And that's a very sportsman. Like your stuff in the way, stop the others through, help them get through as quick as possible.
Here's some big news. Look at this. We are in Spears, and this is that's Bailey. Yeah. So this got really cool. But who is sitting right here? Okay, so this is Billy. We Hammertown.
We saw Bailey. He's when Brad Love was coming into town, so he's really not far behind him. He's hunting Brad down. But we need to keep an eye on adjusting time on this one, guys. Bailey started well behind because Bailey opted out of qualifying.
And then Lauren. I'm surprised we didn't see Lauren right on Bailey's bumper in the rock.
Okay, I've got some news about the leaders. Scott Foley is moving. Also Scott, but there is a change behind Scott Foley. It looks like Cody Young has moved up into 2nd position, and it looks like in 3rd position is Brent Harrell.
Yeah, well, we saw Brent sitting in 4th, and remember, Brent does have a 5-minute
There are at least 6 here. Vaughn and Arthur drivers come and develop great product. Power EcoBoost, box fly valve shop, 37-inch VFD tires. It is the real deal. One of the great things with Broncos is the Bronco off-road race. But often it was Bronco even better. So that's what we're announcing today, that there's a special Bronco off-rodeo for Bronco Raptor at the Nevada location. And Vaughn has been part of developing that, so I'm going to turn it over to him and let him tell you guys about it.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate the love. Thank you all for coming out. This is a brutal course this year, and appreciate y'all coming out. Really enjoy the energy. And yeah, the announcement today is that all Bronco Raptor owners are going to get an exclusive experience at the Raptor Off-Rodeo. Something that myself, Lauren Healy, Bob Burns, Brad Lovell have developed from ground up to give every Raptor owner an epic, unique experience, to get them comfortable with the capability and how to use their Raptor to the fullest so they can go out in the wild on their own and be comfortable, and most importantly from my perspective, put smiles on everybody's faces that owns a Raptor. And so if you are a Raptor owner, you go to BroncoOffRodeo.com/Bronco Raptor, get your information, but you will be notified. But this is in Nevada. It's a very unique location, and what we were looking for, this truck was born and bred around Ultra 4.
I make sure.
Being able to hit the desert, hit the rocks, hit the trail, and drive home after. And we found our own little private Johnson Valley in Nevada. We've got desert, we've got rocks, we've got woods, we've got jumps, we've got a couple other very special features that we built into it. We've got a lot of passion from myself and the other guys that I mentioned in it. And for me, the opportunity to develop it so that hats off to Ford for thinking about what happens after you buy this and wanting to, educate and enable its owners to be experienced, because that also inspires the next generations. And so, just thinking big like that and investing and making it happen. And we got a sweet video. Give you guys a little. Considering the Bronco or Raptor, I might be a little biased, but I can assure you you're not going to go wrong.
Welcome to the Mojave Desert here in Nevada, where desert racing roots lie.
We're on an adventure traveling through the same desert where off-road racers have cut their teeth for years. We're really going to be integrating 30 plus years of off-road racing experience, and this has everything. Vast desert, technical rocks, all the stuff that Bronco Raptor was built to come.
We found our own personal Johnson Valley, and now owners get to come enjoy this playground. Your face is going to hurt from smiling so much.
Thank you, Scott, Mark, Vaughn. That's amazing news from Ford and the team. It's great watching them out here now. I did put the call out earlier, seeing if Ford wanted to bring me a Bronco I could put in my suitcase back to Australia. It just dropped me a little Hot Wheels Bronco. That's probably about as much as I'm going to fit in my suitcase. But thank you very much. Good luck. Sounds like some great things happening in Ford and the new off-road park.
Yeah, you can't go wrong being able to spend a little bit of time with Vaughn and Brad and all those guys, and definitely Vaughn out there messing around with the Bronco. And if you're in Hammertown, if you turn around, there's also a pretty iconic Bronco also parked just outside the very first winning King of the Hammers vehicle. That's old J.R. Reynolds OG Bronco buggy, still kicking around the lake bed, which is super cool. But right now we are watching the four-wheel parts, watching the 4837. Now that is, we're going to see a pass here. Passing Scott Foley.
Now, this is a pass for the lead, Scott.
Yeah.
This is huge.
Yeah.
We've seen Jeremy Jones catch and pass Scott Foley. This race is really unfolding.
But if he gets in front of him, there's no question. Got the not only physical lead, but lead on adjusted time, because Scott Foley was first off the line in that number 2 position. Jeremy Jones started in number 6, which is basically 2 lines back, so minute behind him. So if he stays in front of him, Scott, not only does Scott have to pass him now, he's got to put a minute between them if he wants to get the physical lead back, or physical and adjusted time win. As we go to Turkey Claw, where we're seeing more and more of these stock vehicles make their way through that section of rocks. I just got a quick glimpse. That's Jeremy Purek out there in that 392 powered 4-door JL that he's out there racing in.
We talk about these stock cars and we usually think, stock motors, small motors. That is still a stock motor in that car.
Well, the best thing Jeep ever did was put a Hemi in a Wrangler, because that made V8 swaps 50 state legal. That's how that works here. So I was happy to see that myself. As we're watching a helicopter chase one of our stock cars through the desert right there, that's looks like a little Toyota.
Yeah, this probably doesn't have a V8.
It would probably, no.
Smaller in this little pickup.
Oh, but look at him get a little bit of air out there in the desert. Good for him.
There's your car.
He really is pushing that little truck there, isn't he?
I can't tell by the year of that truck. That could be an IFS truck, to be honest with you. What was that? When we talked about that before. Some of the higher classes into the stock classes. And right now I cannot see through the dust, but I believe that is. I was going to land the drone on the car. Nope, he's gonna crash the drone. That's all right. They're tough. They can handle that kind of stuff.
Well, you can't say we're not getting you close to the action. How cool is that?
I thought for a second he was going to land it on the roof of the car, and I thought that'd be pretty impressive. But right now we are into spooners, as we said before. This is the first rock trail that these cars are going into before they just spend all day or the rest of their day in the rocks here in Johnson Valley.
Yeah, these guys still have a long day ahead of them. They're going to be out on the trail for a long time. I think we saw our leaders yesterday finish.
I believe this is our current race leader coming into the Can-Am Chocolate Thunder. This is where we saw them qualify up Chocolate Thunder. Now they're coming down Chocolate Thunder on the race course. And then they take a left. They don't necessarily go up Revelation, do they? They go around.
Yes, they do. So this is Jeremy Jones, first doing this. We've got jumbo trucks all over the lake bed here, but whether down at Hammertown or watching the world,
started my unofficial stopwatch up here to see when we'll see Scott Foley make that turn to come up Idle Issues. This is essentially the qualifying course backwards, is what these guys are running right now.
Yeah, I think the only difference is they have the option of going all the way to the top and over, or they can go across that nasty side hill and get out the top there and just have to see what options the course designers are giving these guys.
Speaking of qualifying, every year qualifying there's that iconic moment. Last year was Lauren taking the, that 20-foot waterfall drop. This year has got to be the Shannon Campbell saving the roll at the top of Idle Issues as he came out the top. So lots of action in qualifying, but right now it is all about our current race leader. It looks like he's making that right-hand turn that you were talking about.
Yeah, he's taking that right-hand turn across the side hill there. He'll turn up and pop over the top. Looked like he had a little bit of trouble just getting up that ledge that we saw them all dropping down in qualifying, but he's now clear out of Idle Issues.
Some of those ledges are huge on that section of course.
They are.
Okay, so I've got my unofficial stopwatch rolling, and so when we see Scott Foley make that turn into Idle Issues, I will stop it and I'll give you a time between the two.
Yes, Jacko, I showed Scott Foley is coming down Chocolate Thunder. So hopefully we can see him shortly. I'm sure he'll be letting him get away. So he'll be pushing that car to the limits and trying to keep up.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get back to the camera shot of, there he is right there. Is it?
No, I don't think that is definitely not a bomber.
No, that looks like that was an Miller car, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to get a number.
That would be the 4862 of Cody Young. So Youngblood Motorsports.
So
has he passed Scott as well?
That could be, if he is, he's 1 minute 30 seconds behind our current race leader. Because when I stopped my stopwatch and realized that was not who we thought it was, I restarted it. It was at the 1 minute 30 second mark. But it looks like that our race leader was trying to get this one waterfall here. It's loose on the right.
And it's covered in dust. Got a bunch of vehicles running down there. Which puts him up there on our present time.
So he would be within 30 seconds of striking. Not going to want to do. He's going to want to put himself and that technical turn. He doesn't want to push it, but I think you kind of hope he has.
He's pushing his way through that boulder field, trying to keep those cars alive.
Alright, and it looks like we're jumping back out to Turkey Claw for a second here. We've got another one of our, looks like possibly one of those stock class cars making its way through the desert. We're watching our race leader Jeremy Jones. We have him not only physically first on course, but I believe first time as well. See the gap. Oh no, right now. Look at the gap. That is Scott Foley. So we missed him go through. So that's Scott Foley 30 seconds behind Jeremy Jones, which is good for him. We have a great race here. Yesterday, we saw the leader race for the lead. Right behind Scott Foley. Looks like he took the alternate way up and around idle issues.
Yeah, so they have to stay in the rocks there. It's very clear. And he'll be making his way back down too. I'm sure he'll be chasing Cody down. That is Scott down. So that is Cody there.
Yeah, that's Cody. We just saw him make his way up idle issues, and it looks like instead of making the right-hand turn, so that is 1, 2, 3 right now here as part of the four-wheel parts Everyman Challenge, and this is just one class that's racing today. So these are our 1, 2, 3 in our Granite Motorsports Legends class.
And who we haven't seen who was pushing right into the first lap is Brent Howell. Let's keep an eye out for him as this unfolds.
And we also want to keep an eye out for Dan Fresh. Saw him come into town with flat tire wears. Obviously, that's what 2 flat tires is what took him out of that first lap. We expect to see him pushing up time to get through there. One of the next cars to come through this section that we really want to keep an eye on as well is our stock class. We saw Brad Lovell with a comfortable lead, but then we saw out of nowhere Bailey Cole kind of pop up and be right behind him. So the question is Bailey been able to reel in Brad? And then Lauren was behind Bailey in that Ford Bronco. That's Broncos 1, 2, 3 in that stock class, and we should expect to see them at Chocolate Thunder pretty soon, I believe.
So here I'm just looking at the tracker, just spying on our stock class like you were talking about.
Down. Someone views on that one. So it looks like Victor's going back into Hammers now.
So these guys haven't survived long to finish their first lap. We've got a lot of cars out there that are doing a bit tough. Hopefully we can get as many of them through and back onto the second lap.
Here's what jump on the tracker for me, would you there, Ben, and let's have a look see if you can find me car number 4313, I believe it is.
If we both want to keep up.
Do that really nasty cross grain through the saddle. There's still a lot of racing to go for these guys.
There is. All right, so now I believe this is our leaders right now.
Yeah, this is definitely Scott Foley, and I think that's Jeremy Jones ahead of him, so Scott's caught Jeremy up again. And they're really battling these guys. They're pushing these cars to the limit, trying to find the lines to stay ahead.
Yeah, and I think Scott Foley, that would be a good spot where Scott Foley, he's going to want to make a pass there shortly.
And this is another bomber coming down Turkey Claw, the 628.
Yeah, you can see him putting those Spider-Craft axles to work. And now again, as we said before, this is sort of the introduction to these rock trails.
And this is Brent Harrell coming into Chocolate Thunder. We were asking about where he would be. So he's in that Paul Horseshoe obstacle car.
So, if I'm not mistaken, is this?
Yeah, this is Scott now in front of me.
Yeah, looks like he made the pass, which is what we thought we'd see. All right. Was that the black line of sled that they were in? Certainly looked like the front.
No, they should be in wrecking ball.
Wrecking. So that is wrecking ball. I couldn't tell by the
heading towards wrecking ball.
Yeah. So that was our current race leaders, and it looked like Scott Foley has put the pass on. So now he is physically first, but he now has physical on course, but on corrected bound, that is not how these cars would look.
And it's just the thing when you're playing follow the leader and one person gets stuck, it can hugely advantage the guy in third or fourth.
Yeah, and it looks like Scott has made his way possibly through. Trying. So right now Scott is currently first physical on course. Right behind him is the 4837 of Jeremy Jones. I couldn't see. Oh, look.
And this is Cody Young.
And that's Cody Young. We just saw him make a big move down. Trying to make the pass, but just got a little bit offline.
And if you follow along the home, the ticker on the right, that shows you the correct time when these cars have come through our start finishing end of lap one. So have a look at that, see what your favourite races are. There's a lot of finishes through that lap one now. I'll bring you some times in case you haven't seen them come through.
Yeah, and so right now we just watched Cody Young physically third on course. To the right! And then Scott Foley physically leading the race. And Jeremy Jones, but based on how close they went together on one section of the course, corrected times, Cody would probably be feeling really good about seeing both those cars so close to each other.
Absolutely, Cody's in a great seat here. And let's not forget, Brent Harrell's still hunting those guys down too.
Moving his way through there. And where's Jason Fresh? Where is he in this bench right now? Watching a second ago, made the turn up to idle in that big screen. Those are your physical race leaders on course. That is Scott Foley at the front. Right behind him is Jeremy Jones, and then right behind him, I believe, is that Cody Young behind him, Ben? That's Cody Young.
Yeah, Cody Young following up in the position that probably first corrected.
Oh, and there's Jeremy. So that'll help out. Don't worry. That's fine. A little bit of body damage there.
Get back in!
Oh, look who's back in the booth. Looks like good friend Ricky Johnson back for some more fun in the desert. How you doing, Ricky?
Absolutely. And shuffle up front, but a lot of the same guys, and now we're in the most difficult spot. And I'm looking back. Yeah, well, and that new technology, so but that's going to be the race coming in. Watch and see who can put that together.
As we watch the action in spinners,
Come back. We are going to be bringing you back to the Global Park Internet Challenge presented by Progressive. We're going to step away for a quick break. If you are looking to go without the break, go to kingofthehammers.com/live to miss all that. We'll see you in just a minute.
Renowned worldwide for reliability, the ARB airlocker is a must-have for off-road drivers, including rock crawlers, overlanders, and racers. With over 1 stations, ARB airlockers gives your vehicle the traction you need to tackle virtually any challenge with any
Dana's involvement with King of the Hammers includes our sponsorship of the EV Spec Class with our Spicer Electrified E. Dana is here not only to invest the next step of technology that's needed to race in the desert using electric technology.
That straight flat one here. It's a samurai. It's freaking dope,
Welcome back to the 2024 Progressive Insurance King of the Hammers by Optimal Batteries. You are watching live the Full Parts 30-man challenge presented by Progressive
Yeah, and once again, just to remind you, we are racing different classes. These are all parts of that But the story right now is all about our race division. We got people like we have Jeremy Jones basically out at the front, but I think this race is 100% going to all come down to do it at the it always feels good to do that. But then the clock starts. Like that all the family and friends. They stop watching their son counting. They get closer and closer. Yeah, and it's kind of funny when you think about it. They're going to be out there.
Wow.
Yep. And coming around him right now is...
That's Dwayne Garrison, isn't it? It is.
Yeah.
So this is the first of our 4,500 Yukon Gear and Axle modified class vehicles. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. So the Legends class car, as you can see here, only has a single shock absorber, whereas the modified class car of Dwayne Garrison that just went past is allowed to have 2 shock absorbers per corner, limited to 14 inches, and must be mounted on the axles.
Yeah, you saw, that was a perfect example of that tire off the Legends car single shock per axle, but they're able to use that trailing arm in the rear, or in the case of this car, and a lot of the bomber fab cars you see out there, a leading arm up front, so the shock is set back, gives you more wheel travel, allows you to get a little bit more tuning in that suspension, and also helps on these rock climbs, believe it or not, that those leading arms can make a huge difference when you're in the rocks.
Great action. Putting camera assets through all of these, bouncing all these images from the most hostile of environments that is the Harvey Desert.
Alright, so that is our current race leader right there, Jeremy Jones. So now we just need to see how far behind it is.
Where is Cody?
That is the question. Where is Cody? He was right on his bumper coming out of the line.
And it's so easy when you're chasing down somebody in the drop down. You saw him earlier, trying to pick up past an impossible trail, somewhere that he would not normally have attempted because your head goes. You start to think, I must make that pass, instead of just waiting those couple of crucial seconds and keeping your car together.
Yeah, and I especially with Cody, he knows he has to get in front of him and get a little bit of time on him as well.
We got it! Oh, it's the other way around. Jeremy Jones has actually got to push on. He needs to stay, I believe he needs about 1 minute 30.
Yeah, 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Alright, so as we're watching here, he's stowing the jack, using the universal hammer.
Exactly,
Right
yep.
foot.
Looks like he's got an AGM jack there.
Alright, so here is Scott Foley. And Sled.
It is, I think it's absolutely wonderful and a testament to all of the car builders out here that we have so many different manufacturing chassis right the way through our top 10.
You know, maybe we need to do a little F1 thing here, do like a manufacturer stuff.
We used to do that.
Yeah.
There used to be a national championship for manufacturers. I'm not sure that that's actually happening anymore. I think we do need to look at that and bring that back. I mean, how many manufacturers do we have there? We have, obviously, Bomber, we have Campbell, we have Horschel, we have Miller, Off-Road Armory,
and then, yeah, oh, I'm busy.
I'll get in trouble if I don't say this one, Blackbird Industries.
We speculated on unofficial stopwatch.
Do that really nasty cross grain through the saddle. There's still a lot of racing to go for these guys.
There is. All right, so now I believe this is our leaders right now.
Yeah, this is definitely Scott Foley, and I think that's Jeremy Jones ahead of him, so Scott's put Jeremy up again. And they're really battling these guys. They're pushing these cars to the limit, trying to find the lines to stay ahead.
Yeah, and I think Scott Foley, that would be a good spot where Scott Foley, he's going to want to make a pass there shortly.
And this is another bomber coming down Turkey Claw, the 628.
Yeah, you can see him putting those Spider-Craft axles to work. And now again, as we said before, this is sort of the introduction to these rock trails.
And this is Brent Harrell coming into Chocolate Thunder. We were asking about where he would be. So he's in that Paul Horschel obstacle car.
So, if I'm not mistaken, is this?
Yeah, this is Scott now in front of him.
Yeah, looks like he made the task, which is what we thought we'd see. All right. Was that the black line of sled that they were in? It certainly looked like the
no, they should be in Wrecking Ball.
So that is Wrecking Ball. I couldn't tell by the...
heading towards Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, so that was our current race leaders, and it looked like Scott Foley has put the pass.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, the unofficial winner of the four-wheel parts Everyman Challenge, Jeremy Jones. So Jeremy, you qualified really good, you're up front, but obviously a lot of challenges out there.
Yeah, there we go.
It doesn't laugh if I was pretty solid.